Hey everybody, Monday, March 26, 2018, me, Chris Lambert here, discussing some Kanye West news that happened Friday and through the weekend. So we have some good things on the table, about 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10-ish things. So I'm going to try to get through them as fast as possible, but if you watch these, you know that I tend to talk way too much, so bear with me. Um, First up, there were a bunch of leaked Kanye West tracks over the weekend. And I say that, and you think I'd be more excited, but they seem to be things from the 2014, 2015 So Help Me God era. You may remember back in the day, Kanye had said he had 40 tracks with Kendrick and 40 with Young Thug. So two of the tracks that surfaced were called Liberated and Don't Jump, and they feature Kanye and Kendrick, which you might assume is two of the 40 he had talked about. Liberated ends up being a early demo of Father Stretch My Hands. Don't Jump is just another loose track that never got developed into anything. Both sound very rough. They're recordings of recordings, so they're cool, and it's nice, I think, for the hardcore Kanye collectors that just want everything that he's ever done. This is an amazing get from stuff that's probably been talked about or heard about for a couple of years now. So to finally get kind of full-length versions of these, that must be pretty cool. My favorite of the ones didn't involve Kendrick at all. It's called Southside Serenade, and it's based on Leon Russell's Manhattan Island Serenade, which is kind of this like folksy, sad rock blues song. I don't think that's a right description at all. I'm not good with music descriptions, but it sounds more like country rock pop from the 70s. And Kanye took that, as he tends to do with such obscure song references, and made his own version. Sitting on a runway, time on my hands, thinking of you again. As I replay our conversations, pray that everything fell in place. Like a mirror looking back at me, saying you're the only one, making me feel I could survive. So glad to be alive. Nowhere to run, I got a song to sing. Messed up inside and it's been raining all day. Since you went away, Southside Serenade. Since you went away, Southside Serenade. And then the beat drops, which, what that does to my stomach. Whew. And then you just get south, south, south side, and it just repeats in a more Father Stretch My Hands part 2 kind of dynamic, where you go from the sweetness of the verse to then the more intense, almost trap version of the bridge and final chorus. It's really cool. It makes me think, getting an idea that Father Stretch My Hands was the earliest version of The Life of Pablo, and he just kept refining over time. Like Father Stretch My Hands initially had Kendrick, and then he went with Kid Cudi and Designer, and a completely different direction than what Kendrick brought to the table. Highlights originally had Madonna, and then he took her off. FML originally had Travis Scott, then he went with Weeknd. We see that he had these kind of ideas in place, but was just kind of iterating and refining and getting things to the point that he wanted to get them. I feel, looking at the lyrics of Southside Serenade, that it might have been in the position of a FML or I Love Kanye, kind of in that second half of The Life of Pablo. Not second half of The Life of Pablo, but the first half of The Life of Pablo, from Ultralight Beam to Wolves, but that second stretch where he's done with the ego, done with the celebrity indulgence, and starting to get more, I need to change, I need to fix things, I love my wife, and deciding between which one, fame, celebrity, or marriage and family. So I think this song would have been in that marriage and family section. I would link to it because over the weekend there were plenty of links, but it seems that they're all done. So, I mean, I'm hoping that those start reappearing, but hopefully you can hear Southside Serenade at some point. It was really cool. Um, Moving on from that, uh, Very Smart Brothers on TheRoot.com, an article by Panama Jackson. Kanye West was right. Also, Rick Santorum is an idiot. And it's mostly referring to Kanye's 2015 VMA Vanguard speech, where he said, "Listen to the kids, bro." And just kind of talking about how we've arrived at this place where a youth movement is once again stirring up the moral and political conscience of society, and that Kanye, as he tends to be, was ahead of the curve in talking about that. So the article is interesting. It's kind of all that's there Kanye related, but the reason I think it was worth bringing up is just the fact that Kanye is starting to be used more as a anchor in conversations and discussions, in that way that, like, this quote by Kanye was prophetic, or like, you know, it seemed just kind of throwaway at the time, but now we're seeing it take place. I just think it's fascinating for him to be at that point in pop culture and the zeitgeist where what he's saying is being referred to in this way, which might not seem huge to a lot of people. It's just like, oh yeah, he's a celebrity that said something, of course is going to be referred to. But I think with Kanye's journey into wanting to make change, wanting to be part of the world and affect, you know, society in a larger way than just music, and to be kind of that next level figure, as somebody that looks at Kanye news almost daily and tracks the public response to him, it does seem like there's momentum starting to build in the way of really showcasing Kanye as how he's always seen himself, as this next level thinker, speaker that is aware of things. And before, people used to just write him off as egotistical, but I think he's starting to cross that threshold into actually being taken seriously, which I know if you're watching this, you probably always taken him seriously, but I think it's cool to see that other people are as well. Virgil Abloh has been named the creative director. Oh no, you think I would have the title right here. The artistic director of menswear. Thank you for the patience. The artistic director of menswear for Louis Vuitton. And, you know, Virgil Abloh and Kanye have worked hand in hand for years. Abloh has been Kanye's creative director. They've worked on almost everything together, from album design to fashion to concerts, music. You know, Abloh's been a right-hand man for Kanye. So the fact that his Off-White fashion label has been so successful, and now he's getting to be the artistic director of menswear for Louis Vuitton, great job on Kanye for an eye for talent, right? But it's also just congratulations to Virgil Abloh. That's pretty awesome to see, and it's going to be interesting to see how this kind of changes things for not only Louis Vuitton, but the connections that Kanye has in the fashion industry. Does this have any impact for Kanye going forward? Will this be completely separate from whatever Kanye's doing? Could be, but it's going to be kind of intriguing to follow. Yeah, I think that's all we got there. If you want to read more about it, there's an article by Jenna Amatulli on Huffington Post. It'll be linked below. Evan Minsker on Pitchfork has a great article about Kanye West attends March for Our Lives rally. March for Our Lives rally was this weekend, and Kanye and KimeYe North flew out to DC and were part of the giant 200,000 to 800,000 person rally. You know, the number of people there varies. Common was there, Vic Mensa was there, John Lennon was there. Sorry, Paul McCartney was there. Kanye's dad Ray was there. So it was cool to see all the celebrities supporting this movement. that Kanye and Kim would take the time to go out there. I know people often give celebrities shit for what they do or don't do when it comes to politics. I think that Kim has been more politically motivated since getting with Kanye, and that Kanye too has been more politically motivated since getting with Kim. And I know Kanye through his music has always been, part of politics, but it's just stuff like this I feel like they do together, right? And they do because they're together, and they care about it just because they're caring people, but also because of their daughter. Their relationship has really, brought both of them to new places of awareness. So there's some great pictures that were all over social media, some on this site, the Pitchfork article itself. A lot of fan signs relating to Kanye. There's this kid, Isaiah, that had a Kanye-made sign that was cool to see. So Team Kanye Daily on Twitter has a bunch of the fan pictures. So if you want to see those, definitely go to Team Kanye Daily's page and check them out. Kim said in a Twitter post, "What an amazing day yesterday to take my daughter to Washington, D.C. to see our future leaders speak. Having my daughter march alongside her grandfather and parents was a day I hope she remembers forever." And Kanye looked very happy. Still has the pink and blonde hair, which I'm a pretty big fan of. Tiana Taylor. This is an article on High Snobiety by Candace Nemhard. I think I said that right. Kanye West Polo era is back, according to Tiana Taylor. So Tiana Taylor was doing an interview on Ebro in the Morning, the Hot 97 radio show, and she said it's Polo Ye when asked about her new album. Polo Ye, Ralph Ye Productions. He was so excited. We did one song where he just did the beat. He was banging on the desk, and the mic was right there, and I was just singing to what he was banging on the desk. Shit was crazy. He's OD. Excuse me. So, yeah, it seems Tiana's happy with her album. Some of the interviewers were saying that they've heard some parts of her album and that it's great, or that Pusha T was on talking about her album and that it's great. And this album was fully produced by Kanye. So I'm pretty excited for it. And we'll talk all about it once it drops. Let's see. Next up, we got an article from Complex by Trace William Cohen, unreleased Kanye West and Kendrick Lamar demo surface. So if you want a bit more information on that, that article will be posted. It got out of order in my talking points. E! News, Jess Cohen, fans accuse Jay-Z and Beyonce of copying Kanye West and Kim Kardashian. So the Jay-Z and Beyonce announced the On the Run 2 tour, and the image that they dropped, that's kind of their announcement image, is Jay-Z sitting on a motorcycle with Beyonce sitting behind him, which, eye-itching. You may remember from the Bound 2 music video, it was Kanye and Kim in a very stylized, like, high romance, almost like the most romantic Steven Spielberg could be, saturated colors video. And a lot of people made fun of it because of how over the top it was, which was part of the point. It was supposed to be over the top. I think a lot of people thought, like, this is serious? And it's like, it is, but it isn't. Like, if you understand kind of the film theory and film background behind it, it becomes much more nuanced than if you're just kind of looking at it being like, this is dumb. But for Jay-Z and Beyonce, it seems like they're taking, not that Kim and Kanye are the only people to do a motorcycle photo shoot, but regarding just the proximity between Kanye and Kim to Jay-Z and Beyonce, kind of the spats that they've had, the fact that Jay-Z has been accused of biting off of Kanye on a few things. This would be the first time that this is a thing that's going down. So, I mean, you could just say that it's coincidence, but it's hard to figured that they would have this idea and nobody would bring up the Bound 2 video. You know, and Jay and Beyonce do their own thing with it. It's a much more dramatic looking bike. It has like a bull skull on it, so it looks very like country hardcore, much more than the romantic stylized that Kanye and Kim had. But that's an interesting one. Let's see, The Sun of all places. Can't believe I'm talking about a Sun article. But I just want to shit on it for a second. First, it took two people, David Willits, the defense editor, and James Beal, US editor, to write an article about Yeezy's Barmy surplus. Kanye West's 400-pound Pablo Tour merch is an army surplus jacket worth just 15 pounds. So you look at it, and they try to compare pictures. And the little quotes under the pictures, a British Army surplus jacket would cost you just 15 pounds from eBay. But with pompous pop mogul Kanye's logo on the back, it's on sale at 400 pounds. And the dumbest part about this, and I guess it got him a click from me, so good job. I'm not going to link to this because fuck you, The Sun. But on the very top picture, the British Army surplus, it's this very like kind of drabby looking camo. And Kanye's below it is much more colorful, much more layered and nuanced. The actual jackets look nothing alike. The cut isn't alike. The pockets on the arms aren't alike. The pattern isn't alike. Nothing about it is similar except for the fact that they use like green, tan, and brown colorations as the basis. Anybody making the comparison that it's the same coat is a fucking idiot. So, I'd just like to say, for the record, David Willits, fucking idiots. James Beal, fucking idiots. Now we're done with The Sun. Some Art Kanye posts. Quoter Wopa posted that I picked Kanye as the subject of my term paper on heroism. And he or she said they got an A. So if you want to read the paper, we'll have the link to the Art Kanye post so you can read a paper about Kanye being somebody's hero. Eli Sable has a post. Who else knows that Dropout Bear wasn't intentionally planned out by Kanye? So I just found out that Kanye wearing the bear costume on TCD was completely random and my mind was blown away. I always thought that it was all a master plan. It turns out that the costume just happened to be at the school where he had the photo shoot. Who would have guessed? And my favorite part about this is the top comments, Ionic Shoe, it just said, no, Kanye is a furry, which cracked me up. Skylar45 has a post. Kanye lifted a bunch of lyrics for Southside Serenade from Leon Russell's Manhattan Island Serenade. Very underrated classic rock artist. Ye's influence knows no bounds. So if you want to hear Manhattan Island Serenade, which is maybe as close as you'll get to hearing Southside Serenade, there'll be a link to that. And the lyrics, which I should have read earlier when I read the lyrics for Southside Serenade, but sitting on a highway in a broken van, which is similar to Kanye saying sitting on a runway, thinking of you again. Guess I have to hitchhike to the station. With every step I see your face, like a mirror looking back at me, which is an exact line. Kanye says, as I replay our conversations, pray that everything fell in place, like a mirror looking back at me. So he twisted a little bit, the same way he did with Tears for Fears, with Coldest Winter. Saying you're the only one comes up. Making me feel I could survive, I'm so glad to be alive. Nowhere to run and not a guitar to play. Mixed up inside and it's been raining all day since you went away. And Kanye's has a different conclusion, right? Making me feel I could survive, so glad to be alive, nowhere to run, I got a song to sing. So where Leon Russell talks about nowhere to run and he doesn't have his guitar or anything, and he's sad because the person that he's singing to left, or the Manhattan Island Serenade or Manhattan Island left. Someone left. Kanye's saying that he has a song to sing, and while he's messed up inside and it's been raining all day, he at least has a song to sing. So Kanye's is a little bit more hopeful than what Leon's was. CR5Age posted a video, an intricate video discussing Kanye's decision to record his latest album in Wyoming. And this links to a TKW Presents video. Why is Kanye West recording his new album in Wyoming? And it's a 5-minute exploration of what's going on in Wyoming, talking a lot about Kanye's process on My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy in Hawaii, just kind of recapping those things. So there'll be a link to that if you want to watch that. And lastly, we have Chuber120, brewed my first beer, introducing the college hop out, which is pretty fun. And that's it for the Kanye weekend news and news on Monday. So we'll be back tomorrow with more to talk about. Maybe an announcement of the album, probably not, but maybe. Probably not, though. And I'll see you. Keep it wavy. If you want to follow us on Twitter for a bunch of Kanye discussion, we're at Kanye Podcast. If you want lyrical and narrative deconstruction of Kanye's music, you can listen to our podcast on iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spotify, those kinds of places. And you can always join us here for Kanye West news. All right, cheers.